Namaste, everybody. Thank you very much for participating today. We have got everyone from all over coming in, and it's very heartening to see that. And we are all in the same place right now. We are all in this together. It's quite amazing how Mother Nature has switched us off from the rat race that we all were in right till this moment of time. Either we were traveling a lot for our work, we were involved a lot in whatever fields we were entertaining quite a bit, everything was easily available, everything was also an overindulgence at times. All of us are guilty of that. And now, all of a sudden, we are all at a standstill. It's almost like Mother Nature has brought the whole world to a halt. There was a very interesting little WhatsApp that I had received from my aunt saying that Mother Earth is under repairs. And it surely is, because you can see that with all that has happened, with time standing still, there is a rejuvenation happening. You can see that with animals coming out, with endangered species all of a sudden reviving. So today we are going to talk about what exactly is happening right now. We have disturbed the elements of Mother Nature. The elements are air, water, ether, fire, earth. In Ayurveda, we say that we are made up of the same elements that Mother Nature is made up of. And by disturbing those elements, by disturbing the rhythm of those elements, because remember, it's all based on frequency and vibration. And by disturbing that vibration, by disturbing that frequency, we have actually disturbed ourselves. Being interdependent on nature, we have to understand that we have to respect nature. And with all the progress we have made, with all the technology that we have, and thank God for this technology, otherwise we wouldn't be sitting here talking together. But there have been times where we have disrupted nature, where we have exploited it through our deforestations. We can see what we have caused. We have caused a lot of natural disasters. There have been wars, there have been natural disasters, there have been fires, and now all of a sudden we are hit with this unknown of disease which has come in. And that has got everyone into a mode of fear, into a mode of anxiety. This happened many, many years ago, thousands of years ago, 5,000 years ago. We had the same cycle. We went through the same cycle that we are going through right now, where we disrupted Mother Nature's elements. And at that time, there was a conference which took place in the Himalayan caves, where all the physicians, the experts, the yogis got together, and they said, let us make mankind understand that they are interdependent on nature. And they gave us tools. They gave us diet. They gave us yoga. They gave us pranayams. They gave us meditation. They gave us exercise. And they also gave us aromatics, because aromatics can bring about that physical, mental, emotional, spiritual equilibrium, which is very much required. And mankind, we need tools, we need rituals, we need stories in order to carry out techniques through which we can achieve this balance, we can achieve this equilibrium, we can achieve this increase in our vibration, in our consciousness. So my uncle and my aunt, who were very powerful clairvoyants, they used to talk about this when I was a young girl. And I remember he used to channel a very powerful, I think, theosophic adept. We never knew who he was. But he always said that bear in mind, children, that there are going to be a lot of disasters happening in the next century. There will be natural disasters. There will be diseases unheard of. There will be wars. But bear in mind, children, it will be in line with creation. And that's what Uncle Pilu's guide, or the person he channeled, said. It will be, bear in mind, it will be in line with creation and not against it. So do not blame nature or do not judge nature for it. And there will be a whole cleansing process. And out of that process will come a new age, a new vibration, increase in our consciousness. And a lot of yogis have said the same thing. In fact, many, many years ago, Paramahansa Yogananda, who was a great yogi who wrote the autobiography of a yogi, also told us this. And I'm going to just read it out very quickly to you. And he forewarned us that there would be a bumpy road and difficulties for humanity to navigate as we climb into a more enlightened age of civilization. He talked about the crisis the world would go through as it divests itself of wrong and constricting mindsets, superstitions, and religious dogmatism, and awakens into a higher age. Now, this was sometime between the 1920s and the 1950s that he said this. So, this is nothing new, what is happening. And we are right now in what we call the Dwapara Yuga, the electrical age. We had the Kali Yuga, which was the Iron Age of 1,200 years ago. And according to Swami Sri Yukteswar, who was a Jnana Guru, a Guru of knowledge, who was Yogananda's Guru, according to him, we are in the Dwapara Yuga, the electrical age, where man has progressed from just understanding matter to harnessing the energy in matter. And he has in fact, gone ahead and said we would be making great headway in the electromagnetic field of science. He has said that as Dwapara Yuga progresses, diseases will be treated and healed more and more by rays. Vibratory energy can reach the electronic factors of the atoms, the building blocks of matter, where gross chemicals cannot penetrate. And you can see that even modern day surgery is happening more and more by rays. So we can actually see where we are at this point of time. Now, what is vibrationary medicine? Vibrationary medicine is medicine based on vibrations. So when we say medicines, we are talking about modern medicine, allopathic medicine, we are talking about herbs, we are talking about aromatics, we are talking about even our lifestyles. And how do we achieve that? We achieve that by enhancing our own vibration. First comes, what is the first way of achieving that vibration? It's through thought form. Thought forms are supposed to be very powerful. What we think gets imprinted in the ether. As Yogananda has said, if you can think of space, ether, the element ether, if you can visualize it as the sky, akash, all our, and if that can be like a canvas, all our thought forms are imprinted on that canvas, both positive and negative thought forms. So the first thing we have to bear in mind is at this point of time, we all have got negative thoughts. We all can get fearful. But if we can convert that fear into being more positive and living for the now, living for the moment, trusting in the universe, Mother Nature is very compassionate. She has given us a warning. She has, in fact, given us time to think this over and to change the way we have been living, we have been exploiting this world. And thought forms, what I have to read out is by Sri Dayamata, who was the president of the Self-Realization Fellowship. She has said, thought has tremendous power. From thought, all action springs. Everything in this finite world results from thought. It is the most potent force in the universe, with the power to affect lives, communities, and nations. How important it is, therefore, that our thoughts be positive rather than negative. So, there are millions of people today who are thinking and acting in a negative way. It is in the interest of ourselves and our whole planet that we all take an active part in praying for our fellow beings. When enough souls participate, their combined thought vibrations of goodness, love, compassion, and positive behavior generate a mighty force which has the power to change lives all over the world. Change and strengthen your own vibrations by thinking, I'm peaceful or I'm happy. Day after day, affirm that thought, and you will develop that peaceful or happy magnetism. And just be conscious of your living, the way your lifestyle is right now. We have been given this opportunity to simplify our lifestyles, to be present in this moment. And gratitude is very important, because there are very many of our people who are less fortunate than what we are. We have seen on the Indian news thousands of laborers who are so displaced. They are walking to their villages. I mean, they don't even have that opportunity to self isolate as we do. So, the way we can help is by following the rules laid down by the governments of the world, and that is to stay away from each other as far as possible. Our health workers have put themselves out on the front line in order to help us. And we can help them by reducing the impact, because if we do not do that, then we are going to expose ourselves, and there will be more and more people who need to be treated. And though our hearts go out to everybody, try to be understanding. You can still be in touch with your people. You can just pick up the phone and you can talk to the elderly. You can help them out, because for a lot of people, the self-isolation is very confronting. So let us make the changes together. As the great yogi has said, 25% is your effort. 25% is the effort of the masters. 50% is divine intervention. So, as Paramahansa Yogananda has said, make your 25% 100%. Make sure that you do not waste food. You have a good diet. You make a dinacharya or a daily routine for yourself, whereby within your house environment, you can go within. You can have a practice of meditation. Early morning, you can wake up. You can make sure that you have a glass of hot water. Then you can have a nice aromatic dressing. After that, you can do your yoga, your exercise, your meditation. So meditation is a wonderful tool, because meditation will give you a lot of confidence. And I will take you through that, because that's what we are going to talk about now, and how that will naturally help to abate that fear and anxiety. And the beauty of meditation is you can energetically connect with the world. Energy travels round the planet in less than 2.5 seconds. In fact, they say you can go round the earth 7.5 times in 1 second. So imagine what you can do with this energy, with this light, because we are all beings of light. We are made up of the same energy that the cosmic creator is made up of. So what we will do now is we will talk about how you can get over this fear and anxiety of self-isolation. And I have been put into that situation years ago when I had my son, Nick. Uh, he was a cesarean baby, because I had a placenta previa of the third degree. I had to have a blood transfusion after that. Now, the doctors say there is no connection between that and what happened to me. I had hepatitis a year later. But I also was a go getter. I was in the corporate world, I was an accountant, and I was always wanting to progress in my career. So I did it at the expense of my health, because we all know what happens in the corporate world. There's a lot of competition, there's a lot of stress. And maybe that also compounded with this. So all of a sudden, I was faced with the choice of being in the hospital, where there was really nothing much that they could do with the hepatitis A, or I had the choice of staying at home. And I took the second choice. I self isolated myself. It wasn't easy. I was very fortunate to have my mother and a nanny who could look after the children, because I was living in Dubai where I could have that facility. So I made the most of it. And initially, yes, I was overcome with fear, with anxiety, because I had never been put into that situation. But then I used that time to go within. And when you go within, you get answers automatically. So I did my practices, whatever I knew at that time, on meditation, on yoga. And eventually I went to India. Over there, I came across this man. Of course, I went to the doctor first, and he wanted to just hospitalize me. But then this lady who used to work for us, she got this man, a tribal man, who applied chalk or limestone. And he was actually using mantras. He said he was given this gift by his guru, and he was draining. He was literally draining or detoxifying me, because the whole bathroom would turn yellow. The chalk would turn yellow. And soon after that, within a week, when I went for a test, my blood test was clear of the hepatitis A. But what happened thereafter was, when I went back to Dubai, I felt very fatigued, what we now call chronic fatigue, which I did not understand in those days. And I had to work on myself. And the best way I worked was through pranayams, using the breath, meditation, visualization, affirmations. And I did that as a regular practice. And I got myself out of that situation. I even started working on a voluntary level with the World Health Organization, and I organized a walkathon and a marathon. So if I can do it, you can do it too. And I want to just very quickly read out this beautiful fable, which is from How to Live series, called Living Fearlessly by Paramahansa Yogananda. It says, while meditating late one night, a certain saint saw the ghost of the dread smallpox disease entering the village where he lived. Stop, Mr. Ghost, he cried. Go away. You must not molest a town in which I worship God. I will take only 3 people, the ghost replied, in accordance with my cosmic karmic duty. At this, the saint unhappily nodded assent. The following day, 3 persons died of smallpox. But the next day, several more died, and each day thereafter, more villagers were overcome by the fearful disease. Thinking that a great deception has been played on him, the saint meditated deeply and summoned the ghost. When it came, the saint rebuked it. Mr. Ghost, you deceived me and did not speak the truth. When you said you take only 3 people with your smallpox. But the ghost replied, by the Great Spirit, I did speak truth to you. The saint persisted, you promised to take only 3 persons, and scores have succumbed to the disease. I took only 3, said the ghost. The rest killed themselves with fear. You must resurrect your mind from the consciousness of disease, from the thought of disease. You are the invulnerable spirit, but the body now rules the mind. The mind must rule the body. What are you afraid of? You are an immortal being. You are neither a man nor a woman, as you may think, but a soul, joyous and eternal, So I'm leaving you with this story, but what I want you to do is just trust in the universe. We only see the small picture, we don't see the bigger picture, and there is a bigger plan in place. And as I said, this too shall pass. Nothing is permanent, nothing is infinite except your very being, your soul.